In this video today, I'll explain you what does this ISO 42001 lead implementer course look like, and also how to prepare. And I'll also show you what lessons are included in Advisera's lead implementer free course. Okay, let's start first with the basics. So this course is basically intended for people that are leading the implementation of ISO 42001 either in their own companies. So this might be, let's say, AI officer, or let's say chief technology officer, or anyone who is in charge of AI systems and running AI governance for these AI systems. But this lead implementer course is also a very good fit for consultants who actually want to consult their clients on ISO 42001 implementation. And this course usually lasts 5 days or 40 hours. And when you compare it to lead auditor course, which also lasts 5 days, you will see that a lead implementer course is focused more on implementation steps, implementation techniques, how to manage implementation projects, whereas a lead auditor course is focused more on auditing techniques and how to lead certification audits. Now, this lead implementer course is structured in the following way. You have these lessons which you have to go through, and through which you actually acquire all these theoretical knowledge. And then you have these workshops through which you actually exercise and apply this theoretical knowledge in some real life situations. And finally, you have a certification exam. And when you pass this exam, then you actually get your lead implementer certificate. And let me now show you how these lessons look like. Okay, I'm showing you now here this ISO 42001 lead implementer online course from Advisera. Here you can find some general information about the course, but here you can actually see that you can sign up for all the lessons for free. Whereas if you want to go for this workshop and certification exam, then you would have to pay a fee. Okay, let's focus now on the curriculum. You'll notice that the course actually has these 11 modules, and all of the lessons are included in these 11 modules. And the first 6 modules are about the explanation of the standard. I'll show you the details in a second, whereas these modules 7 to 11 are about how to actually implement AI governance or AI management system. So let's first start with this module number 1. You'll find some general information here, like what is the standard, the structure, objectives, introduction to AI management systems, implementation of ISO 42001 according to PDCA cycle. This is only one lesson, more of an introduction one, and there are much more details in the modules 7 to 11. Implementing as a project, documenting the AIMS benefits, related standards and regulations. And then in these lessons here, actually, there is an explanation about the AI itself, right? What is the basic terminology, machine learning, neural networks, main components of an AI system lifecycle. And then in modules 2 to 5, you'll see a detailed explanation of each and every subclause of the standard. So for example, here in this module 2, you will see the clauses 4, 5, and 7. And there is one actually lesson for each subclause, right? So for example, subclause 4.3 is explained in this lesson here. Okay, in module 3 you have clause 6 pretty detailed here. In module 4 there is this clause number 8. In module 5 there is this clause number 9 and 10. And then in module 6, actually all the controls from the Annex A, and there are 38 controls, they're all explained here together with the guidance from Annex B. So they're actually structured in these 9 sections according to the Annex A, and all of these controls are presented here. And then there are these modules which actually explain how to implement a project. So first of all, how to get the project approved. So what is basically your situation, that you're starting from there, how to get the interest of top management, how to present the project, and some other techniques of presenting a project. And you'll notice that there are actually 2 lessons specifically for consultants. So how to get more sales meeting with prospects, and also how to write a proposal. Why? Because this course is also very popular among consultants. So many consultants actually go for this course. Okay, module number 6, it's about preparation for the implementation, so defining the scope, key stages, tips for project management, estimating, communication, tools, roles and responsibilities, a little about the project management, and so on. Module number 9 is about implementation of management system, so basically executing the project work assignments, resources, smooth project execution, gathering information, introducing documentation and changes, and also overcoming resistance to change. And then module number 10 is about monitoring, controlling, completing the project. So status reports, communication, monitoring and control meetings, internal audits, management review preparation, execution, and acceptance and implementation closure. And then module number 11 is if you take your company for the certification. So basically whether you should go for a certification, how to choose a certification body, what is the process, what are the stage 1 and stage 2 audits, how to prepare, logistics, and so on. So as you can see here, this kind of course teaches you the details of the standard, but it also teaches you details about how to implement this ISO 42001 standard. Now, you might have a dilemma whether to go for an online or classroom type course, and this really depends on the location of this classroom course provider. Because if this provider is very far away, then it's probably easier to go for an online course. And this also depends on your availability, because if you do not have a whole week to take off because of this course, then it might be easier to go for an online pre-recorded course and then dedicate maybe 1 or 2 hours per day to go through this whole course. And when considering which course provider to choose, basically you should think about 3 criteria: reputation, quality, and accreditation. And by reputation, I mean, how did the students that already have gone through this course, how did they mark, what kind of feedback did they give for this course and for this course for a provider? And by quality, I mean, how clearly does this course instructor present the whole course material? In other words, how quickly can you actually learn by attending this course? And by accreditation, an official confirmation that this course is of a good quality, and this confirmation is usually given by accreditation bodies or certification bodies. And it doesn't really matter which accreditation the course provider has, as long as there is some kind of accreditation. Okay, now let's see how do you need to prepare for this course. And just to mention that most course providers do not have any prerequisites for attending this course, so you do not need to have any pre-knowledge for attending this lead implementer course. And when you want to prepare for the lead implementer exam, then you have to read very carefully through ISO 42001 standard itself. Of course, you have to go through the whole course script. You also have to go through all of these exercises that you've done as part of these workshops. And you should also read about some materials, what are the best practices for managing projects. And on top of this, of course, you have to go through practice exams that usually come with these kind of courses, so that you can actually get a feeling on what kind of questions you can expect at the certification exam. Okay, I hope this was helpful, and let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about this lead implementer course, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And to access this lead implementer course from Advisera that I was showing you, click the link in the description below, and you'll be able to open a free student account at this course, and you will be able to go through all of these course videos without any payment. And you would have to pay only if you want to go for this online workshop and online certification exam. And see also my next video that gives a more detailed comparison between this lead implementer course and lead auditor course and foundations course and internal auditor course. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel not to miss any of my new videos. And I publish videos about AI governance and cybersecurity governance every week. Thanks for watching.